Proceedings in the arms deal trial against former President Jacob Zuma and the Thulasizwe group have been postponed to next month. That's because Zuma is in hospital for medical observation. His legal team is expected to submit his medical report but next week, Friday. That's the 20th of August. Zuma is currently serving a 15-month jail term for refusing to comply with an order to appear at the state capture inquiry. Thulasizwe Simelane has been following that story for us, joining us now live on the Midday View from Pietermaritzburg, Mgungundlovu. Makutwa, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. A couple of things sort of popped up when I was listening to the order given by Judge Kuhn earlier. The first one was yet another postponement, and the date that is set for that is the 9th.
Yeah, absolutely. The date set for that is the 9th and the 10th of September. And in a way, Braden, the firing gun has gone off, but the athletes, if I take that metaphor forward, are not up and running yet because we keep having these false starts in as far as this trial is concerned. The trial in its entirety as a trial is actually underway, believe it or not. It's hard to believe because of the seemingly endless delays, but actually the trial is underway. It started, and that was the firing gun, when former President Jacob Zuma entered a formal plea to the charges proffered against him, the 16 charges of fraud, corruption, racketeering and money laundering in their various instances. When he pleaded not guilty to it, that was the start of the trial. The second order of business was for him to then enter another plea as allowed for under section 1061 of the Criminal Procedure Act. And that other plea that he entered was 1061H. Which says the prosecutor has no title to prosecute. And that's where the false starts keep coming in. Their arguments along that particular plea that says the prosecutor has no title to prosecute were meant to be heard in June and then moved on to now because, you know, he wanted things to happen with him physically in court as opposed to him being joined in virtually from Escort prison where he's serving his prison sentence. And then we came today and there was this issue about his health, and now it's been kicked further down the road to the 9th and the 10th of September, where one of three things may happen. A medical report may indicate that he is okay, and on that day we proceed with the arguments in terms of that special plea. Or two, we may come in and find out that the medical report says he's not okay to proceed, and we get a brief postponement. Or three, we come in on the 9th and the 10th and find out the medical report says he's not okay, but the prosecution doesn't accept that and takes issue with that, and therefore will want to lead evidence of their own medical professional.
How critical is that part, that medical report part? Because the order was granted as well for the state to appoint its own independent practitioners to do two things, my understanding, to do a medical examination of the former president and therefore then assess whether or not he's fit to stand trial because he wants to be inside court.
It's crucial, Braden. That medical report is critical right now because, for starters, it gives us the sense of thinking of the prosecution around the issues of former President Jacob Zuma's health. The prosecution is happy to accept right now that there is a medical report coming, but they've already flagged that, you know, they will be watching this very closely. With the result that they may want, if they don't accept what the medical report of Mr. Zuma's doctors now, if they don't accept what's entailed there, or perhaps they feel they want to satisfy themselves even further, they may want to appoint their own medical officer. And Judge Pete Kuhn granting them that opens the door to the possibility that on the 9th and the 10th we could have what we've come to call a trial within a trial, trial where the question of whether Mr. Zuma is fit enough to be in court and for the arguments in the special plea to proceed may be subjected to a trial within a trial where, you know, if the two medical reports don't align, we could have the medical officers who are dealing with him now, you know, in terms of the correctional services and his own doctors and the South African Military Health Services could be called to give evidence and be cross-examined, as can the medical officer appointed by the state in terms of Section 37 of the Criminal Procedures Act, also come and present evidence and also be cross-examined. So it just gives you a sense of there's no common cause as to what is the state of health of Mr. Zuma. Another pointer to that, Braden, is take what now the language is that is used between correctional services and the Jacob Zuma Foundation. On the other hand, correctional services says they said Mr. Zuma was going in for quote-unquote medical observation, and they're now saying that it is the Jacob Zuma Foundation that said this was routine checkups. So semantics is now coming into it, even at this early stage.
Yeah, I must say, thank you very much, Thulasizwe. I must say, I'll be surprised if come the 9th and the 10th, this trial continues. I think your assertion of saying there could be a trial within a trial, we are going to see something like that playing itself out on the 9th and the 10th. Once again, thank you very much, Thulasizwe Simelane, for that comprehensive wrap-up of what took place in court today. The trial has begun, as he clearly said. It started with that plea of not guilty a few weeks ago by the former president, but now there's this other matter now. He's in hospital. We need a medical report.